Welcome back to Make Money Online. Today we'll be looking at Litecoin and how it will be bullish later this year, and the possibility of it eventually being even better than Bitcoin and Ethereum. Litecoin launched in 2011. It's an alternative cryptocurrency based on the model of Bitcoin. It was created by an MIT graduate and former Google engineer named Charlie Lee. Litecoin is based on an open-source global payment network that is not controlled by any central authority. The Litecoin network went live on October 13, 2011. It was a source code fork of the Bitcoin Core client, differing primarily by having a decreased block generation time, increased number of maximum coins, a different hashing algorithm, and a slightly modified user interface. Litecoin is the habitat for the LTC cryptocurrency, which is mainly used to send and receive digital funds, making direct transfers fast and possible through the use of cryptography. Litecoin was developed with the aim to improve on Bitcoin's shortcomings, and has earned industry support along with high trade volume and liquidity over the years as a peer-to-peer internet currency, as it's a fully decentralized open-source global payment network. Just like other cryptocurrencies, Litecoin is a global digital payment method that uses blockchain technology to transfer and trade coins. According to its website, LTC is also among the coins with a scientific philosophy and research-driven approach. In practical terms, this means its open-source blockchain undergoes a rigorous peer review process by scientists, engineers, and programmers in academia. The Litecoin Foundation partners with San Diego International Film Festival and some other institutions like Travel.com, the Miami Dolphins, Buybox Exchange, TokenPay, WeEG Bank AG, the UFC, Blockcard, LoadWallet, Celsius, and others. How is Litecoin different from other cryptocurrencies? Despite the fact that it's proven increasingly difficult for digital coins to stand out given the level of crowding in the field, Litecoin is one non-Bitcoin crypto which has managed to stand up to the competition. Over the past several years, public interest in cryptocurrencies has fluctuated dramatically. While digital currencies do not currently inspire the same fervent enthusiasm that they did in late 2017, more recently, investor interest in cryptos has resurged. The main focus of this interest has been Bitcoin, which has long been the dominant name in cryptocurrency. Since the founding of Bitcoin in 2009, however, hundreds of other cryptocurrencies have entered the scene, in which Litecoin is also making a greater impact. The main differences between Bitcoin and Litecoin concerns the total number of coins that each cryptocurrency can produce. This is where Litecoin distinguishes itself. The Bitcoin network can never exceed 21 million coins, whereas Litecoin can accumulate up to 84 million coins. Also, its transaction speed is faster. These factors are largely psychological boons for the investor and don't impact the value or usability of the currency. However, Litecoin and Bitcoin have a lot in common. At the most basic level, they are both decentralized cryptocurrencies. Whereas fiat currencies such as the US dollar or the Japanese yen rely on the backing of central banks for value, circulation control, and legitimacy, cryptocurrencies rely only on the cryptographic integrity of the network itself. When it was launched in 2011 by founder Charlie Lee, he announced his debut as the light version of Bitcoin via a posted message on a popular Bitcoin forum. From its founding, Litecoin was seen as being created in reaction to Bitcoin. Indeed, Litecoin's own developers have long stated that their intention is to create the silver to Bitcoin's gold. For this reason, Litecoin adopts many of the features of Bitcoin that Lee and other developers felt were working well for the earlier cryptocurrency, and changed some other aspects that the development team felt could be improved. One important similarity between these two cryptocurrencies is that they're both proof-of-work ecosystems, meaning that the underlying process by which both Bitcoin and Litecoin are mined is fundamentally similar, though not exactly the same, as we'll see in the storage transaction for an investor. Many of the basic elements of transacting with Bitcoin and Litecoin are very similar as well. Both of these cryptocurrencies can be bought via exchange or mined using a mining rig. Both require a digital cold storage wallet in order to be safely stored between transactions. Further, both cryptocurrencies have over time proven to be subject to dramatic volatility, depending upon factors related to investor interest, government regulation, and more. While it's possible that Litecoin is still in a corrective phase, another upward move is expected that could take Litecoin towards $225. Mining Litecoin. First things first, if you're only interested in owning Litecoin, you should probably buy it from an exchange such as Coinbase. If, on the other hand, you want to try your hand in mining Litecoin because you think you have the time and resources necessary to make a profit, because you want to help keep the Litecoin network decentralized, or out of a sense of curiosity, the nitty-gritty of Litecoin mining depends so much on your hardware, software, operating system, and pool. Mining is competitive. The first miner to generate a hash that is smaller than a target set by the network finds the new block, receives the block reward. currently 25 Litecoin, and any transaction fees present in the block. Since there's no way to know what nonce will generate a below-target hash, miners' results are subject to two factors: luck, which is outside of their control, and computing power, which can be bought or stolen. To maximize their computing power, miners have developed specialized gear to plow through hash functions as fast as possible. They've assembled enormous collections of these machines, pooled the resources, and concentrated in places where electricity is cheap so as to maximize profits. These trends have led to the increasing centralization and professionalization of mining. Long-term Litecoin levels. Litecoin has been decreasing since January 10th, after reaching a high of $185.83. The high coincided with the 0.5 Fib retracement level measuring from an all-time high of $370, validating the area as resistance. However, after the drop, Litecoin has held on above the June 2019 high of $146 and created a very long lower wick in the process. This is a sharp sign of buying pressure. A weekly close above this level would likely confirm a continued bullish trend. Technical indicators in the weekly time frame are bullish. If LTC manages to break out, the next resistance area would be found at $225, the 0.16 Fib retracement level. An increase above this level could take LTC towards its all-time high. Litecoin's greater number of maximum coins might offer a psychological advantage over Bitcoin due to its smaller price as of yet for a single unit. Short-term charts show that Litecoin is currently making an attempt to move above the 0.16 Fib retracement level of $158. The level also previously acted as support, so reclaiming it is crucial if Litecoin wants to continue moving higher. Despite the fact that indicators are bullish, we cannot consider the short-term trend bullish unless Litecoin manages to close above this level. This chart shows Litecoin fully completing the massive ascending wedge formation on the right of the schedule. It reached the downside targets and already managed to bounce within these zones, possibly indicating a stabilization. Now, besides these major events, I discovered meaningful signs within the structure necessary to elevate. Therefore, we're looking at all the important levels and likely outcomes ahead. When looking at the chart, we can watch there how Litecoin solidly held this major ascending trend line in black and bounced there, moving on to test the remaining resistance line marked in red, where Litecoin first pulled back to the downside and moved into the ascending trend line to bounce again within. This is a really strong support Litecoin has built here, and when it manages to hold the support, this can be the indication for higher levels of resistance to be tested in the upcoming time. Therefore, we can expect Litecoin to test the ascending trend line anew, and when this trend line then holds again, Litecoin will move on to the higher resistances and possibly mark above them, as is shown in the chart. Taking all these factors into consideration, it's of high importance that Litecoin really holds the ascending trend line and bounces there to stabilize above sustainability. Otherwise, if this does not happen and Litecoin increases with bearish pressure to move below the trend line, this will continue up with the bearish pressure ahead within the bearish continuation zone marked in the chart. For now, it's necessary to keep patient and wait for the proper validations before moving into the final direction. It will be an interesting development to see play out. 2021 promises a great run for Litecoin in theory, and we think it would be nice when it surges upward drastically and it aims to touch a greater mark once again. Major developmental projects are expected to aid its cause. Also, as mass adoption takes effect, more global users will push institutional money into the Litecoin project, which may have a great influence on price moving forward. I hope you found this video informative, and if you liked it, please leave a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Would you like to know more about Litecoin? Let us know in the comments below.